What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Clint from the Die Hard MMA podcast. This is the Total Takedown UFC Austin edition, and I'm rocking my new Chase Hooper swag. Had to buy one after that round 3 TKO prop call. Let's get into this. Again, we're talking overs and unders. We already broke the whole thing down on Monday. Go check that video out here on Pub Sports Radio. Smash the like button. Sub if you haven't. Let's go. First fight of the night, Kyle Daukaus taking on Kutateladze. We've got a total set at 2.5. Over is -150. Under is +130. I kind of like violence here a little bit. I think Kyle Daukaus, he understands the assignment. He knows Kutateladze's got a questionable gas tank. The kid can scramble. He's got great pace. The boxing is improving. He's going to be the volume side of things. I like him from a side perspective, and I do think he's going to put it on Kutateladze. Roman has been super durable, super tough, but damn does this guy gas out. And at 185, I wonder what that's going to do to his durability. That's a tough cut for the man. So I do think there is some upside of Kyle potentially being able to wear him out and finish him later in the fight. And Roman is a dangerous opponent. He's got good solid BJJ. He's a beast of a man on the feet, so he can land big power bombs. That head kick comes up out of nowhere. So both guys, I think, have some finishing upside, and I do think this is going to end up being a bit of a killer be killed type of spot. So under 2.5 +130, I don't mind it. Duran Win taking on Phil Hawes. Total on this one is 2.5 again. Over is +100 even money. Under is -120. Everyone's expecting Phil Hawes to just run straight on through Duran Win, but what we've seen from Duran Win is he's got a brick for a head. This guy is incredibly durable, and he just punches his way into the pocket, grabs onto people, body lock, tries to chain grapple him down, and on top of that, my boy brought in Khabib for this training camp, so he's getting some good high-level MMA grappling help from the GOAT himself. I like the over here. We've seen Phil Hawes go 15 minutes a couple times already in the UFC, even though I question his gas tank, even though we've seen him break a couple times. This is not the type of opponent that's necessarily going to do that with punches. I think Duran Win can start to chip away at the gas tank of Hawes. I think he can get into this fight the longer that it goes. He just needs to not die early. But as long as he gets out of round 1, I think we're going a full 15. So I would take the over 2.5 at even money for me. Cody Stamann taking on Eddie Wineland. Total again set at 2.5. Overs -150. Unders +130. I like the over again on this one. Just because Cody Stamann is pillow-fisted. This guy doesn't finish anybody. Now, if you're going to finish somebody, a cracked chin, WEC vet is the guy that you're going to finally KO. But I just think Cody relies too much on his grappling. Not too much, that's how he wins the fights, but so much on his grappling that that'll be his first go. And he really needs to secure a win here. I believe his contract is up with the UFC, so he's got to get the dub. And I think that getting the win by all costs is the end goal, and that means he's just going to go ahead and control Eddie Wineland, who is physically strong. Very tough to hold down. Not many people have had success with that game plan. So because Cody isn't the guy that's going to one-hitter quitter him, I think he's just going to try to nullify and grind on him. So I think we go full 15 for that one as well. Glory to Paula taking on Maria Oliveira. This is your classic women's MMA spot. The over 2.5 is -300. Chalky. Under 2.5 is +250, and I definitely like the over on this one. Both women are strikers, long, rangy. We're going to see a chess match here on the feet. We might get a little bit of a ground transition. Women's armbar from guard is always there, but I don't think either of these women have the type of power it's going to take to flat KO the other one on the feet, so I think we're going over 2.5. Danny Chavez taking on Ricardo Ramos. Very similar to the last fight. Over 2.5 -175. Under 2.5 +155. Chavez is just a tank, dude. This guy just doesn't get finished. I know Ricardo Ramos has those chin concerns, and that would be something that would worry me a little bit, but both these guys have a tendency to grapple. Danny Chavez tends to be a little bit one-hit-and-quit type of, not one-hitter-quitter, but one-and-done type of striking, and I think Ricardo Ramos can just kind of stay paced outside, keep the range, stay safe. I think we're going over. I think we're in for kind of a nasty, greasy split decision on this one, but I do think we go over 2.5. Jeremiah Wells taking on Court McGee. Total set at 2.5 on this one. You already know where I'm going here. Over 2.5 -185 is going to be the move for me if I'm playing this total. Under 2.5 is +165. I don't think violence happens here. Jeremiah Wells is a guy, we have seen him go deep. I question his cardio. I question his gas tank. He definitely slows down. He's a finisher first. But he's incredibly durable. He's tough. He's got heart. He's going to stick around. Court McGee, not really the biggest finisher in the world. He's a grinder. He's the ultimate grinder. So he's going to put a pace on Jeremiah Wells. He's going to try and gas him, tax him, slow him down. But at the end of the day, he's not going to finish Jeremiah Wells. He'll stay safe whenever Jeremiah Wells offers up offense, but he's not going to go for the kill himself. I think we're going 15 minutes, over 2.5 for me. Natalia Silva taking on Jasmine Judavicius. Total again at 2.5. Over is minus 215. The under here plus 190. I again kind of like the over. I think there's some late finishing upside. Jasmine Judavicius does get tired. She does slow down. And Natalia Silva may be able to take advantage of that, but we're not sure. It's her UFC debut. I think she's live as an underdog. I think she's live for a late finish here if Jasmine does slow down. But we haven't seen her fight in 2 years. That kind of a long layoff. She could be a whole new monster. We could be seeing a new version of her, and maybe she dices right through Jasmine, but I tend to think that the way Jasmine fights, the strength advantage she has, the height, the reach, I think she'll slow the pace down. I think she'll control it just a little bit, and because of that, Silva will be live on the scorecards, but not until we get to the third round for a finish, and then not until we get to the judges for the scorecard. So I'll say over 2.5 minus 215. Wouldn't be shocked if this one flew under, though, somehow. Tony Kelley taking on Adrian Yanez. Total set at 2.5 minus 125 to the over, plus 105 to the under. You may think I'd look violence here, but no. Both these guys are incredibly durable. You know, whenever we look for unders, the rule is both guys have to contribute to that under cashing in some way, whether they are the offensive firepower looking for the finish, or even if they're just the guy with the durability issues that we're looking to take advantage of. They've got to find a way to contribute. Both these guys have finishing upside. Checkbox on both sides there. However, both them are stupid durable. So we gotta recognize that with two guys in there that can take an absolute shit kicking and keep on coming, we can't risk our money looking at an under at plus 105 when both guys don't have a tendency of getting finished. Now, Tony Kelley, we've seen him slow down a little bit. Yanez cranks it up, so the longer the fight goes, the stronger he gets. I could see a round 3 Yanez spot. But with the 2.5 point, it's going to get hairy, because this one could happen right at that 2 minute and 30 second mark, just a little before, just a little after. I'm still smarting a little bit from Jiri tapping Glover over that 4.5 round mark instead of under it for me. So yeah, I'm not getting involved in this one. I'm going to say over. I do think we end up hitting the judges' scorecards. Again, with that kind of firepower though, don't be shocked if somebody gets finished. Gregory Rodrigues taking on Julian Marquez. Total on this one, over 2.5 is plus 135, under 2.5 minus 155. Kind of similar to that last one. Gregory Rodrigues, we've seen him hurt, we've seen him stumbled, we've seen him rocked, but damn, the dude just never goes down. Julian Marquez, this guy is a sheet of steel, an insane sheet of steel, all right? He's a little crazy, but he's tough. He's durable. He is a dog. He is never going to quit on you. Gregory Rodrigues absolutely can finish this guy on the mat. We've seen Maki Pitolo drag Julian Marquez around the cage, so if Gregory Rodrigues decides to grapple, he probably can get it done on the floor. Julian Marquez, the Cuban Missile Crisis, this guy's got an underrated submission game. He clubs and subs everybody after rocking them on the feet, takes them down, gets on the neck. I don't know that he's necessarily choking out Gregory Rodrigues, because let's be real, the guy just doesn't get choked out. But I do think he could knock him out. There's definitely some violence potential here in this spot. I think under 2.5 minus 155 makes a little bit of sense. Guram Kutateladze taking on Damir Ismagulov. Total set at 2.5. Over is minus 115. Under is plus 190. And I like the over here on this one again. I think we're going to get an extremely high-level kickboxing match. We've seen Damir Ismagulov get rocked, get clipped, get wobbled once or twice before, so I think Guram is capable of the finish here in this spot. But I'm not counting on it. He's never, we've never seen him actually cave to that. In fact, he comes back and wins those fights. So I'm not going to count on the guy getting cracked and going down when we haven't seen it yet. So I think we're going to get a very close, very tight, competitive fight that goes to the judges. Might even play that split decision prop on that one, just because I don't think anyone's going to have any clue who won that fight. Albert Duraev taking on Joaquin Buckley. Total set again at 1.5. Over 1.5 is minus 150. The under 1.5 is plus 130. And I kind of like the over 1.5, kind of. Minus 150 is way too pricey for me here. That's really the only problem. I think Albert Duraev is the goods. I think he can drain Buckley's gas tank. I think he can out-wrestle this guy, put a pace on him. Buckley is that snap guy that knocks anybody out and is also fully capable of getting bonked on the head and knocked out flat. So violence could again happen at any point during this fight. I think fight doesn't go the distance, but when we're talking 1.5s, do we really want the under 1.5? The way Buckley came out in his last fight looking to put his singlet on and grapple, I don't know that he's going to be throwing flying knees right out the gate. I don't know that it's going to be violent straight off the bat. I think they might feel each other out a little bit. So I kind of think over 1.5, but doesn't go the full 15 minutes. Definitely not betting this one. Full PSA, not a 1.5 that I'm interested in whatsoever. Kevin Holland taking on Tim Means. 2.5 on this one, minus 125 to the over, plus 105 to the under, and I like violence here. This is mostly Kevin Holland, one-sided action, right? We know Tim Means can strike. We know Tim Means can grapple. Kevin Holland, bigger, taller, longer, younger, improving every single time we see him. I think this is that spot where the UFC gave him a veteran name, somebody who's got some serious chinks in the armor who he can take advantage of. I think Tim Means likes to strike. In this case, maybe a little bit too much. Kevin Holland is a BJJ black belt on the mat. I know Means is too, so if it hits the floor, Holland is not going to be just a fish out of water, and I don't think Means is big enough and strong enough like some of those 185ers were to hold Kevin Holland down. Holland will get back up if he wants to and get to work with those hands. We've seen Tim Means hurt, rocked, wobbled, knocked out many times in the past. There's your chink in the armor for Tim Means. Definitely the offensive upside I'm looking for Kevin Holland. And hey, Means is a black belt. Means does head kick the crap out of people. So crazy off chance that Means manages to get the finish. I don't think it's coming from him, but it's there. Under 2.5, plus 105. That's the side. Joe Lauzon for the co-main event, taking on Donald Cowboy Cerrone in a dinosaur fight here. Total set at 1.5, over minus 140, under plus 120, and I would be looking under for this one. Joe Lauzon understands the assignment. He's going to be coming out hard on Donald Cerrone, trying to get him out of there as quickly as humanly possible. Donald Cerrone, since that last fight, pulled out, got sick, and then went off on a movie set in Thailand. So he hasn't really even been training for this fight. I'm going to be watching very closely to the weigh-ins tomorrow. I haven't bet this fight yet, but violence is the way that I'm looking, and I think that Joe Lauzon will force a gunfight early in round one, and if Cerrone had a bad weight cut, that just lends itself to a fast start and a fast finish from one guy or the other. I do think someone's going out of there, and it's probably going to be early. Probably round one, maybe the beginning of round two, but I just don't see these guys settling into a rhythm and having the fun kickboxing-paced fight that Donald Cerrone tends to enjoy. I think Joe Lauzon's going to make sure that doesn't happen and somebody goes out on their shield. Josh Emmett taking on Calvin Kattar in the main event. Total set at 4.5. The over is minus 135. The under is plus 115. And I kind of got to side violence here, I think. Like, this is not one that I'm overly confident in because Calvin Kattar is the type of guy that can just box your face off for 25 straight minutes without an issue. Josh Emmett, everyone thinks he's KO or bust, relies on that nuke. He can hit you with any shot he wants at any point in time over the course of a fight. He's done it with 15-minute fights, never shown a sign of slowing down. He's got two full more rounds that if he doesn't quite get it done, he can always unload in the fourth or in the fifth. I think Josh Emmett definitely could be the guy that finally knocks out Calvin Kattar because he can knock out everybody. On the flip side, Calvin Kattar is definitely the type of guy whose volume, pace, and pressure can knock out a guy like Josh Emmett if he ends up being hittable, if Kattar ends up finding that flow state a little bit early. Can Josh really take 20 minutes of battering from Calvin Kattar after what we've seen from him in his last couple fights, the level up that kid has taken? I think somebody probably gets finished in this fight, but fights like the Holloway fight for Kattar, fights like the Burgos fight for Emmett have me not questioning the durability of these men whatsoever. So if I have to make a pick, I will say under 4.5 at plus 115. I want no part of this total, guys. I really don't want to put my money anywhere near this thing. Hey, that's it for the total takedown, but we do have some PFL coming up tomorrow on Friday, and I haven't had a chance to talk it through. I haven't done a video breakdown. I never really cover never really cover PFL individually. Figured I might as well throw you guys a bone here. Clay Collard taking on Alexander Martinez. I do like Clay Collard as the favorite, minus 190. He's got the experienced man on a mission. Showed his last couple fights what he's capable of. I like him there. ACJ in the co-main event. Obviously just the free square in PFL. He submits everybody. Nobody in PFL is on Antonio Carlos Jr.'s level. He's minus 800. I do think he's a parlay piece. I used him myself. With Clay Collard, you get minus 141 if you tie those two together right now. I like that spot. Raush Manfio taking on Olivier Aubin-Mercier. OAM is really just the darling of PFL right now. People just go to the well over and over and over with this guy, but we've seen some chinks in the armor. He's big for the weight class, but he can't really hold people down. He's really one-pot shot on his strikes, but he doesn't ever finish anybody. Raush Manfio, being the guy holding the belt, has always been the underdog. Everyone just keeps assuming that he's not going to get it done, but he's getting bigger, he's getting stronger, and he keeps showing up and beating people and catching the bookies with their pants down. I'm going to war here with Raush Manfio. Give me the champ, disrespected as the underdog here. He's sitting at plus 160. I got plus 155. Unfortunately, these lines are ping-ponging like crazy. He was plus 170 earlier this morning, and it dipped all the way down to plus 155. I thought I had missed all the value. Of course, after I bet it at plus 155, it shoots back up to plus 170, and then money has been coming in, ticking it down a little bit, plus 165, plus 160. So, of course, I got the worst of the number on that one when I could have had plus 170 before all the madness started. I feel pretty upset about that, but I like him as a dog. I think it's a good dog spot for him, and I've been waiting and watching for my opportunity to fade OAM here in the PFL. We just needed the right matchup. I think this is the one. Jeremy Stephens looked like crap on the scales. He had the worst weight cut. He cheated on the scale, having his foot off the dang thing, shaved his head and beard to get every little bit possible off so that he could make weight, but he's got a cupcake. Miles Price is a guy that's been knocked out before, nowhere near the experience level or just level of Jeremy Stephens. He's going to get clipped. He's going to get knocked out early. Even though Stephens had the rough weight cut, I don't expect him to lose this fight. I just took the under 2.5. It's minus 110, and I think that makes sense because if Jeremy Stephens had such a bad weight cut that he's not going to be able to, win this fight, why can't Price knock him out? We've seen Jeremy Stephens wobbled, hurt, knocked out several times recently, so he could just be at the end of his durability's ability. But again, I'm kind of leaning on Jeremy Stephens round 1 KO. I just don't think it goes the distance. Under 2.5, that's my bet. Omari Akhmedov, minus 525. Kind of a free square. His opponent has been submitted a whole bunch of times. I think Omari can get it done, but you all know that I really don't like Omari, and if I get someone with a decent takedown defense game and a decent gas tank, I bet them against him pretty much automatically. I'm not laying minus 525 with him, but I do think he wins. I do like Natan Schulte against Marcin Held. Held doesn't really have anything to fight for besides pride in this thing, whereas Schulte needs the win to advance here in the PFL tournament. I do think that says something. I mean, even though Held wants to show up and get paid, Schulte won the previous fight. I think he can win the rematch. He was minus 150 earlier. That's up to minus 165. I do like him. Not a bad price tag. I think you can get it done. And the rest of it, I think, is just chalk, right? You've got Wilkinson, Sorty, over minus 300. I do think they roll. They can go in your chalk parlays. The only one I'm curious about is Martin Hamlet. Now, Martin Hamlet is a guy that we saw basically get exposed as like a minus 1,500 favorite last time. Barely got the thing done. He's taken on Silveira, who's a minus 190 favorite, undefeated kid. This is that spot that maybe people are thinking finally catch him with his pants down, but he's so damn good at wrestling. Like, don't be shocked if this is another close, hairy, squeeze it by type of fight, but Hamlet goes ahead and gets his arm raised. So I kind of like Hamlet at the dog odds, because we've never gotten dog odds. He's always like a 10-1 favorite. So I think Hamlet as a dog is a little bit interesting. I haven't bet that one myself, but when I do like my Hail Mary full card parlay, I think Hamlet will be at the tail end of it, hoping he gets it done as a dog. There you go, folks. Total Takedown and PFL. Tune in tomorrow. Undefeated post weigh-in show. Let's make some money this week. Let's go. Good luck.